Hello everyone, this is ArkyBMFL. If you don't know what I look like, here you go. Um, so, I have a very serious video that I am making here, and this is not going to be an easy one. And it's basically what it is my opinion about, the whole thing with Chuggaaconroy that nobody asked for. But here I am. I am going to be expressing my thoughts about the whole situation and the most recent development, which has definitely changed my viewpoint on the whole situation. And it's just, man, I don't even know where to start, man. This is just not easy. So first off, I'm gonna go over a little background of about him and about I've never met the guy in my life. I've never talked to him, but just how I started watching his videos. So I actually started watching Nintendo Capri Sun. He was actually one of the first YouTubers that I started watching, and I think he recommended him in his Super Mario Sunshine project all those years ago, which was I want to say about 13 or 14 years ago when he did that project. I can't exactly remember when, but yeah, that was when I heard Nintendo Capri Sun recommend his channel. And I went to check out his channel, and I liked his videos. So I started watching his videos, and I've been watching a lot of his videos for 13 years, which is, a good chunk of my life. I'm 23 years old, so that's over half my life. I've watched him since I was 10. And I watched Nintendo Capri Sun since I was 8 or 9. So a very long time. So definitely a part of my childhood. His videos were definitely, a huge part of my childhood. Like his Mario Sunshine project, Super Luigi Galaxy project, Thousand Year Door, Super Paper Mario, and several other projects of his that I watched. And I watched, the whole thing probably multiple times. Yeah, I just, I'm definitely, I'm more than familiar with, who he is, because I've watched him for 13 fucking years. And then also, I also watched the Runaway Guys ever since actually, I think their very first project when they started in 2011. I think that's when they started their channel, and I watched a lot of their videos. I've watched pretty much every single one of their Mario Party projects. I've watched their probably their most notorious one now, and the one that is probably aged the worst, their Super Mario 3D World project, which I recently, rewatched a couple of those videos to, really look back and really see the red flags that were in some of the videos. And the most obvious one was in the very first video where he says that he's looking at Masae's dress, and I'm like, oh wow, Because back then, when I first watched the project, I thought it was just, playful banter toward those two. And that's apparently what a lot of other people thought too, but it was actually something significantly more sinister, and people were, now everybody's eyes are open about that, and that, her reaction was genuinely uncomfortable, and you can really hear it in her, reaction, where she basically says no. And that's like a firm no that we thought was just a gag all those years ago. But now that all the revelations have come out and all that stuff, it's very obvious that she was actually uncomfortable in those. And there were a number of moments in that project where she was obviously uncomfortable. And it's really sad that that was how she really felt, and it's obvious that's how she feels in those projects, and we all basically failed to see that because we thought, oh, it was just a gag or whatnot. And it just watching the project back, it's hard to watch. Like, it really is. Like, it's just like, ugh, I can't watch this anymore, because now knowing the sinister meaning behind, some of the comments that he made toward her, which were obviously pushing many, many boundaries that should not have been pushed, and, making comments that probably should not have been said. It just, I don't really know what else to really say about it other than, the comments that were made. Sorry, I'm gonna move just a little closer to the microphone so I'm not speaking so loud that I'm waking up the whole house. Which I probably already did a good job at doing that. But it just, overall, looking back at those videos, it's just like, oh my god. Like, they're hard to watch. And, her testimony about, the allegations that, came out, that really, made it sink in, like, oh shit, he really did do this stuff. Because you gotta keep in mind that they did live together. They did used to live with each other. So there really isn't, proof that is needed other than that, because I imagine, the time that they lived together, a lot of comments were made that, off screen, that probably should not have been said, and she put that in her statement, which, do I have my phone on me? I don't think I do. I'll read her statement. Let me go get my phone real quick. Okay, so her tweet on Twitter, well, now known as X, thanks to Elon Musk, who's probably a fucking creep himself. She said this: after the number of people who inquired about Chuggaaconroy over MagFest, I feel the need to make this clear. I have not associated with Emil for years, nor are we friends. Any cameo, Splatoon 2, recorded long before our falling out, or interaction or mention, Coliseum Twitch chat, was posted and done without my consent after I had made it clear that I did not want to be associated. I am uncomfortable with the way he has talked to / about me in the past, which has been a huge point of distress, combined with the way he has spoken to or about others, particularly women, in private and public. It is concerning, and I do not want to associate with that behavior. Emil has historically been one to push boundaries, and being faced with a following as large as his is absolutely harrowing. Even establishing my own personal boundaries carries an inherent risk. For a long time, not quote unquote rocking the boat felt like the safer option. I have seen the recent posts in his apology. I have privately received several from him over the years that have rung hollow with his actions. I am tired of hearing it, have no more chances to give, and am exhausted from pretending / politely dodging topics when he is brought up. For my own comfort and safety, I will not be attending events that he will be at unless it is a public space where I am able to avoid him, large-scale conventions. I have not seen him in years, and I have no intention to start again now. To those who have unknowingly asked me questions about him, either at MagFest, in private, or in chat or comments, I hold absolutely no ill will, and I do not fault you. But moving forward, I will not be reciprocating discussion about Emil any further in any capacity. This is my personal line in the sand made because I no longer want to quietly tolerate people speaking for me, assuming the wrong things or incorrectly associating us as friends or collaborators. To those who have also been hurt, I empathize with you and wish you all strength. Wow, that took a while to read, but I read it. So yeah, that's when it really sank into me that, dude, this shit's real, and he definitely messed up big time. And it's super sad that this all happened the way that it did. And some of my comments that I made toward Emily in the new Super Mario Brothers project, I totally retract some of those comments, because had she have not brought those up, these allegations would not have come out, and he still probably would have been doing what he has been doing. I can't imagine how NCS and Proton John are feeling, because they're caught right in the middle of all this. And oh man, I can't imagine how they're feeling, especially NCS, knowing that he lives with him, which makes probably a very, very awkward living situation. And I do not envy him at all for that. And one thing that, that has been really irritating me about, how this all has been handled is people are, making rude comments and just nasty comments toward particularly NCS, because guilty by association, basically, when he had nothing to do with his actions, and he didn't even know about any of this is going on until the allegations, came to light. And basically, there were people calling NCS a creep, and actually, I'll read the comment on his Twitter. It's on the tweet with driving with my ass open, or ass closed, not my ass open. There's a user that said you're a fucking creep, and then I'm sorry, but his reply made me laugh the first time I seen it. I was like, thanks for reminding me, I almost forgot. I'm sorry, but that reaction was just, his reply was just too good. Thanks for reminding me, I almost forgot. Oh man, I love his reply. That was definitely smooth. But anyways, yeah, he does not deserve, the nasty comments that, are caused by his friend, which I guess they're still friends. And I've been reading up a lot about this, and it seems like each day new stuff is coming out. And this brings me to the most recent allegation, which I think is probably the most sickening. Which apparently he was, I guess, I don't know how to word it, but he was saying nasty stuff to a 15-year-old girl, basically, when he was 19, which is definitely wrong, because that is technically considered pedophilia. So, yeah, I guess he's now known as a pedophile, which, when I seen that, I was like, oh my god, like, I was literally, like, sick to my stomach when I seen that, because I was just like, what? Like, I had to do, like, a double take. Like, this is so much worse than what the other people have said, and the messages are pretty damning, in the evidence and the screenshots that were shown, and I just, oh man, that was wow. And it was obviously sexual, and I read the screenshots, and I'm like, that's disgusting. Like, that is absolutely disgusting behavior. And one thing I do appreciate Emily for is, had she had not said anything, none of this would have came out to light, and nobody would have known, what type of a person he really is, or was, or maybe still is, which, regardless, is still absolutely disgusting, knowing that somebody who I looked up to for 13 years is a fucking pedophile. Like my heart, like, absolutely sunk when I seen that. And this was, what caused me to, not hold back any further on, my feelings about the topic, because it's something that, that definitely needs to be said. At least in my opinion, I feel like it needs to be said, but, it just, I don't know how else to really put it, because it just, oh man, it was so disgusting. Hi, Precious. I think she can tell that I'm getting upset by talking about it, which, come here. Come here, baby girl. Oh, is all my stuff in the way? Let me move it. Come on. But yeah, I just, when I seen all this stuff. Oh, there's my Precious. But when I seen this stuff, I was just like, oh my god, like, literally one of the people that inspired me to start Let's Playing is a fucking pedophile. Like, I can't believe that shit. Like, I'm still in absolute disbelief about the whole thing. And, he's somebody, especially in, some of my projects here, I've mentioned on, on my channel a lot. And, oh my gosh, it makes some of those comments that I said about him, really, I feel like him being a good person, that stuff aged so poorly. And I know there's probably a couple of videos and several projects where I've said, I watch his videos and I thought he was a good person, and obviously, he's not a good person, and I hope he's getting the help that he needs, because according to NCS, he's getting help But I think at this point, knowing that that came out and that conversation was like a long time ago, and he has a pattern of doing this, I think it's too little, too late. Especially for his reputation, because when you see his subscriber count at the beginning of this, I think he was at 1.29 million, and today he's at 1.24 million. So he's very quickly losing subscribers, understandably so. And the Runaway Guys channel has also lost a couple thousand subscribers because of all this. After the latest video which they put out, I think the Runaway Guys is going to be on a hiatus for who knows how long, if not indefinite. But we don't know. I don't know yet on how that's going to play out, and neither does NCS or Proton John, because they're still trying to process the allegations, which they had no idea about until literally last week. Like in NCS's in multiple things, NCS said he did not know any of this stuff happening until last week. Like, and that's something that I feel like people need to understand is, what is the matter with you, Precious? I know she wants to go commentate. She wants to go commentate. But that's just something, that I feel like people need to understand is, it's not like he's looking at his private messages. He doesn't know what goes on in those messages, and there's probably more sinister things that we do not know about. And, I don't know what else to really say, because it's a lot to take in, especially the latest development regarding pedophilia, which is a serious offense. And right now, I guess he's in the hospital, according to NCS. I don't know if it was due to a suicide attempt or what, but yeah, he's in the hospital, and I guess he's in the hospital for a couple days, probably 72 hours. If it was a suicide attempt, you're mandatory held at the hospital for 72 hours. I would know, because I've had suicide attempts. However, he needs help, is basically what it comes down to, is he really needs psychological help, and he needs to probably stay off the internet for a long time, maybe indefinite, especially knowing the allegations regarding the pedophilia, because that's even more serious than the other stuff that has come out. That is by far the most serious thing, because that's no joke. Like, that's a felony right there, and whether or not he'll receive criminal charges for that, I don't know, because like I said, the stuff was back when he was 19, and he's like 30 something now, so that was like 13 years ago. But it still doesn't matter, though. It was still wrong. It was still extremely messed up, and just still, wrong. And I don't know what to really say, other than I hope that the victim finds peace, knowing, her story is out there now, and now people know, and, it's good that she got her story out, to, possibly, have other victims feel more comfortable with sharing their stories, so more people know. And I absolutely 100% support any and all victims of the nasty comments that, he made, and, the crossing boundaries. I absolutely support all victims in that regard. And I definitely feel like he needs to be held accountable for his actions. And I'm not going to be, defending them at all, because especially the pedophilia is inexcusable. It's disgusting. It doesn't matter the age gap, 19, 15, that's 4 years. That's still under the age of 18, which I think he's in Georgia. I don't know if he's lived there his whole life, but I'm pretty sure that's still counted as pedophilia. As I think the difference, I think, is 3 years, and that's 4 years, which still illegal. That's pedophilia, and there's absolutely no excuse for that. Absolutely no excuse. And I mean that for anybody who has done that. Like, that's just inexcusable. And that's still, pedophilia. It's illegal. It's wrong. It's disgusting. And should definitely be held accountable for his actions regarding that. And understandably, these latest developments, both NCS and Proton John commented on it, and Proton John's reaction was especially telling of regarding that. I could tell that he, just in his response, that he is furious, absolutely furious. And one of the comments on Proton John's tweet, which I'll read the tweet that he put out, is, "I hear everyone wanting me to speak about Emil. I have a lot of feelings that I'm sorting through. I'm extremely disappointed and confused on what's next. Please be patient while I process things. Just know I don't condone his actions. I'll share my thoughts when I am ready." And then one of the comments on there said, "Bet you didn't know about the last thing, huh?" And then just a one-word response: correct. Nothing more needs to be said there. That pretty much says 1,000 words right there about how he feels about the whole thing. I think he is livid. I think he possibly feels betrayed, which I know if I was in his position and didn't know about any of this, I would feel betrayed, most certainly. I would be furious. I don't even know if I'd want to look at that person. If I was in Proton John's shoes, I don't know if I would ever want to see Emil ever again. I would be just so grossed out and just disgusted. Because, I wouldn't even want to look at him. And I imagine that's probably how he feels. And like I said, I cannot speak for him, but that is how I would feel. I would feel completely and utterly betrayed and heartbroken and furious all at the same time. And that's, my guess is that's probably how he feels. Because I know that's how I would feel. But then again, I cannot speak for him, and I personally very much agree that, he needs time to process everything, and to, just take a break. Because, everybody deserves, a break, especially after something like this going on. And, I fully agree that he needs time to, help get his feelings together, and to just, yeah, get his feelings together, get his thoughts together, because, that's a lot to take in. Like I said, I could not imagine what position both of them are in, because they're guilty by association, basically, by the public. And I don't know how I would react in that situation. I really don't. And I hope I would never have to be in the middle of that. I especially feel bad for NCS, because knowing that he has to live with him is so awkward. I bet that's just so tense and awkward, and just I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine how that could be. I don't know. And on Reddit, there's a Reddit thread that NCS replied on. But I'm looking right now. I don't know if I really want to read all of this out loud. But he did say that he talked after the latest allegation came out, and that it was uncomfortable, which I could not imagine how that would be, talking about something like that. And there's probably a million different things going through both John's and Tim's and the Capri Sun's minds. I could not imagine. And I definitely have mad respect for the two, for how they're handling it, because they probably are handling it better than I could have. Because I react very emotionally, and they're trying their hardest not to do that. And I give mad props and mad respect to them where it's due. Just overall, I really don't know what else to say that hasn't really been said already. Because at this point, I kind of just feel like I'm repeating myself. But pretty much the main thing out of all of this is I 100% do not condone those actions. And I do not want to be, associating. I don't want to, be promoting people like that. And it really sucks that, I have promoted him unknowing of the shit that he's done and said. That is just beyond fucked up. I would probably say the pedophilia is unforgivable, but all the other stuff, I would say it's probably forgivable, but it's inexcusable. The pedophilia, though, I don't know about that. I don't know if I'd be able to forgive anybody on that, regardless of who it was. Because that's just beyond messed up. And, I don't really know what else to say that hasn't been said. And it's just, it's heartbreaking. It really is. Because, he was somebody that I looked up to. It was one of the reasons why I started Let's Playing. And, it just, the fact that I promoted him on my channel, it makes me feel like just like a shitty person for promoting somebody like that. Then again, I had no idea, because this was, last time I promoted him like that was before all these allegations came out. Excuse me. So, and it makes me sick to my stomach that's all what happened. And like I said, it's understandable. John, Proton John in particular, he's livid, and I can tell just from that reply, the correct period reply, that he's mad. He is mad as hell, and I don't blame him one bit. I would be furious if I was in his shoes. I would be livid. Like, that's just an ultimate betrayal right there, beyond belief. And I definitely have mad respect for both MCS and Proton John. I really do. And those two guys, I would highly recommend you guys watch, which I think both of them are going to take a hiatus anyways, understandably so, due to everything that's going on and the position that they got basically forcefully put in, because they had nothing to do with this, and like I said, they're guilty by association, and that's just not fair to them, because they did nothing wrong. They didn't harass anybody. They didn't sexually harass anybody. They didn't talk sexually to minors. Like, they don't deserve that. But, unfortunately, guilty by association to the public. And, thankfully, a lot of people have been super nice to them about it, due to the fact that, both of them don't condone his actions, which I'm glad that they don't. And I didn't think that they would condone those actions, because that doesn't seem like the type of people that they are. I think both of them are good people, but then again, I thought Emil was a good person, but obviously not. But that's just a whole nother story there. It's just like I said, I do apologize about the comments toward Emily, thinking that, she was being spiteful about it. Honestly, I felt that way before the other allegations came out, because I thought the whole thing was going to be done and over with after that, but as soon as Massey made her piece, the floodgates basically opened to more victims coming out, which, is honestly good. It's honestly a good thing that the victims are coming out and saying their story, because they deserve to be listened to and validated. And their feelings are absolutely 100% valid. And that is something I will not deny them of. They deserve to be validated. They deserve to be listened to. And especially this latest one, I couldn't believe that shit, man. Wow. Like, I was kind of blown away with that one. Like, I thought it was as bad as it was gonna get, but it kept getting worse, and that's probably about the worst it can be. Pedophilia, that's probably the lowest you can get. And at this point, I fully expect the subscriber count for Emil to just tank, and for the Runaway guys too. I feel like their subscriber count is gonna tank too. It's sad that it's definitely sad that that's how it resulted, about how this all resulted. And I honestly, my condolences go to the victims, and I'm very proud of you guys for coming out with your story, because I can't imagine how hard that is to do. I cannot imagine how hard that is to do, especially against, someone like Chuggaaconroy, who has over 1 million subscribers. So I'm definitely proud of you guys, and I support you guys 125,000%. It's just sad that, somebody who I looked up to was like that. It really is sad. But at this point, nothing can be done. Everything has been, said and done. At this point, probably just wait until more allegations come out, because at this point, I have a feeling that there is going to be more people that are going to come out with, their piece. And hopefully these people, these victims, will feel at peace after this, because they probably have held this in for a long time, and now is the perfect time, because they'll be believed. While in the past, they probably would not have been believed, and probably people would have picked apart every little piece of it and making, saying, oh, this icon here is just a little off of, like, what his real icon would be, basically. That's kind of what they did with Emily. Like, they picked out the minusculest little details, which didn't even make any sense, because there's one in particular where it said the icons were different, and I'm like, they look the same to me. And really not much else for me to say that hasn't already been said. And I know I've been rambling on with this for about 42 minutes now, so I'm probably gonna wrap this up pretty shortly. So I don't know, the future of the Runaway Guys. I don't know the future. That's, not my decision, and, probably not going to be made public for a while. Understandably so. But, one thing, regarding my channel is, from here on out, knowing especially about the pedophilia, I am unsubscribing Chuggaaconroy. I'm unsubscribing him, and I am also unlisting him from my featured channels, because that is not somebody I support, and that is not someone I will ever support. That's not what I stand for. I do not, what the fuck am I trying to say? I do not stand up for pedophiles. I do not promote pedophiles. I do not, I do not recommend people watch videos like that. And yeah, that's basically what I'm gonna do there. Nothing else for me to really say there. I know, I got like a band-aid on my middle finger because I don't even know what I cut it on. I was at work and I cut it on something. I don't know what. But tonight at work was such chaos. I had the cops come twice. It was ridiculous. But yeah, nothing else for me to really say about that. And my heartfelt support goes out to any and all victims, named and unnamed. Thank you guys for watching this monologue, or whatever you want to call it, of my opinion that nobody asked for. Much appreciated. So I hope this will, clear the air there, because I do not support, his actions. However, I do hope, and I don't know if he'll get better, but I do hope that he does. And I do hope that he's learned from his mistakes. Whether or not he will, I don't know. But I hope that he does, and I hope that he gets the help that he very much needs. And I think he needs to probably stay off the internet for an indefinite period of time. But that's just my opinion on the matter. However, what he'll do, I don't know. But hopefully he really thinks about things. I really hope he does. Especially the latest allegation. I hope he has that sink into his mind about how fucked up that was. So, nothing else for me to really say there. Thank you guys for watching. Much appreciated. I will not be saying any more about any of this in my new Super Mario Bros. Project. I don't know, I may say a little bit, but I'm not gonna, go on a 46 minute tangent or whatever on it, because there's other shit for me to talk about, more positive things, and that's what that series is about. So, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys later.